Tomorrow marks 1 year since the shooting death of Trayvon Martin, the unnamed 17-year-old killed by neighborhood watch leader George Zimmerman in Sanford, Florida. Martin's death threw the spotlight on the state's stand your ground law, which is heavily backed by the NRA. Joining me now exclusively is Trayvon's mother, Sabrina Fulton, his father, Tracy Martin, and family attorney Benjamin Crump. Welcome back to you all. Let me start, Sabrina and Tracy, by again offering you my very sincere condolences on the death of your son. It must be a very difficult time for you now, a year later. Sabrina, how are you planning to commemorate Trayvon's life and death tomorrow?
We're going to attend a candlelight ceremony here in New York. We've already done something in Miami. We've done a peace walk to let teenagers know that they have a right to walk in peace. We also did a benefit dinner to help our foundation so that we can try to do some of the things that we need to do so that we can make sure that no other parents have to go through what we have gone through in the last year.
Tracy, obviously when your son was killed, your first thought would have been just devastation at losing a child. As things went on, you and Sabrina and your legal counsel, you became these kind of national advocates to many people against gun violence. Where do you see the gun debate going in America now? There have been so many things that have happened in the last year, from Aurora to Sandy Hook and so on. Where do you see it right now?
We from all the senseless gun violence that's been happening since our son's tragic loss, it's time for America to take a look at our gun laws, do something with the gun laws, take a look at the people that are purchasing guns, people that they are giving gun license to, because it's just too much senseless violence, just overwhelming the homes right now. We as parents certainly feel the pain for the children and the parents from Sandy Hook, the parents of the children that are being killed in Chicago, and parents that are dealing with loss all over this country. We certainly empathize with them.
Ben Crump, when this trial begins later in the summer, it'll be a huge, I guess, test of the stand your ground law. However either side frames it, that's how people will see this. Wayne LaPierre from the NRA says the only means of security is the Second Amendment. When the glass breaks in the middle of a night, we have the right to defend ourselves. He was wildly applauded. You all know that, he said. You aren't free if you can't defend yourselves. That was him speaking at an event on Saturday night. How do you tackle that kind of mentality in light of this debate about stand your ground?
Well, Pierce, you try to be very open and honest about it and ask them, as Sabrina and Tracy have said so many times, it's not personal until it comes to your doorstep when you lose your child to senseless violence. Last year, before Trayvon was tragically killed, very many people knew little about the stand your ground law until it came out that his killer was not arrested because this stand your ground law. And that's important that we realize what this movement was about. His killer was only part of the symptom of the problem. The problem is that we had the stand your ground law that encouraged vigilante justice. If he would have just waited in the car, Trayvon would be living, he wouldn't be facing prison. And, you know, truly, the message is going to be sent after this trial. Where are we at in equal justice? Where are we at with this stand your ground law? Because if he's not held accountable, what message does that send to the next child that's killed unarmed on the ground?
A difficult question for you, Sabrina, but I want to put it to you anyway. There are obviously going to be huge candlelit vigils all around the country tomorrow. We're told in New York, D.C., Los Angeles, Atlanta, Orlando, and other places. Are you ready to let justice take its course, however that turns out? In other words, if at the end of this trial, George Zimmerman is exonerated of illegally killing your son, would you be prepared to publicly accept that verdict?
Well, that's something that we've always asked for. We've always asked for an arrest. We've always asked for for it to come to a trial. We just want to have that trial and let the jury decide. And whatever decision comes out of that, we're going to accept that may not like it, but we're going to accept it.
Well, Sabrina, again, and to you, Tracy, I do pass on my very deepest condolences. It's a year afterwards. It seems an extraordinary year in many ways for what happened in the aftermath of Trayvon's death and for gun violence, indeed, in America. I hope that tomorrow's not too unbearable for both of you. And to you, Ben Crump, thank you, as always, for joining me.
Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you.